my dudes, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kylie, but I go by Kai, and welcome to my library. So, today, I wanted to go over my February TBR. I have a lot of good ones, so I'm really excited to go over them with you guys, tell you what I plan to read next month. February is a very special month to me because it's also my birthday month, so I'm expecting to get some books that are coming out in February for my birthday. So let's get into it. I don't have this book yet. I've already pre-ordered it and it's gonna be here on the release date, but The Good Girl Complex. I was fortunate enough to be able to read an arc of it, but I am all about annotating and I read and enjoy physical books a lot more than I do my Kindle. So I bought it so I can annotate it. I'm really excited. So I'm gonna read it probably like second day of February because when I'm supposed to get it, it's not supposed to come till 10 o'clock. So I kind of need to sleep. So I can't stay up and read it, I'm sorry. And then I have several arcs that I want to read, and there are several arcs that are on my Kindle that I'm excited to read. So I'll try to put up artwork over here, if I can, of the covers of the books. So the first one is The Rich of Ferathan. I believe I said that right. I got approved for it through Book Sirens. So many good books that I have read from them. Yeah. And they just recently upgraded my account so I can have more than one book at once. It's a beautiful thing. I think I have 3 out right now. Anyway, so The Witch of Ferathan is actually a novella. It is actually like the prequel to Gemma Calverston and the Forest of Despair. That's actually the official first book. So I requested the novella first, so that way before I read the first book, you know, I've already read the novella. It's technically considered book 0. But the description of it is: an alluring stranger, a trail of destruction, will Ferathan survive her charm. When a stranger arrives in the secluded town of Ferathan, the townspeople are enamored by her mystique and beauty. Lonely farmer Gathan Dvorak is the particular target of Nelia Lunara's affections, and he is oblivious to the strange occurrences in town since she appeared. As the community endures famine, rare attacks by giants, and bizarre behavior by the local livestock and wildlife, the people of Ferathan turn to Nelia for protection. Gathan's skeptical friend Germaine Fielder follows Nelia's path of destruction that led her to the town. Will he discover who and what she really is before it's too late for Gathan and the rest of Ferathan? Says it's a standalone story set 70 years before Gemma Calverston and the Forest of Despair book 1. So it's basically 7 years before. Chapter 1 of the Forest of Despair is also included as a special sneak preview. Excuse the fact that I don't know how to pronounce these names. I've never heard of them before, which I appreciate because I'm like, you know, not having like typical names. So I think that's really cool. And then another arc that I'll be reading is The Daughter of Retribution. Both of these books that I mentioned are books in a series, so as soon as I'm done reading those, I think that both—
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh my gosh. Anyway. So, oh god, this is not going well. As soon as I'm finished with the other books, I think the second books are available on Book Sirens, so then I'm going to go ahead and request them so I can read them. So I'm really excited. Both of the series sound really good. If you haven't heard about them, look them up. Next is another arc that I have that actually gets released on my birthday, and I'm actually very excited to read it. It's called Beneath the Stairs, and I can actually tell you what this one's about because it says so on the back. The arcs that I got, I can't because I would have to use my phone. to look up the descriptions, and I'm kind of using it to film, so I'm really slacking, guys. I'm sorry. But this one is like a psychological thriller. Okay, it actually says it here. But anyway, Daughter of Retribution caught my eye, and I'll tell you why. Here, let me explain it to you first. It says, in a world of god and goddesses, winner already right there, a girl discovers her purpose while trying to end a revolution. A peddler of herbs and trinkets, Aaron lives a relatively simple life. So who has been following her all these years, and what will they do when they catch her? When the forces that guide her direct her to meet up with a group of others, she enters a world filled with magic, supernatural beings, and one frustratingly handsome immortal, sorry. Along her journey, Aaron makes world-shattering discoveries of her own, from her found family, one of my favorite tropes, to her emerging powers. She navigates heartbreak and danger, all while desperately trying not to fall in love with one infuriating warrior who just so happens to be an incorrigible flirt. Can she transform the world and discover the person she is always destined to be? It's actually the debut novel of Wren Cartwright. It's her first fantasy novel in a world of god and goddesses about a girl discovering herself while trying to end a revolution. And it says perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas, Jennifer L. Armentrout, and Holly Black. The second book is already available to be able to request. So it says, few and sleepy Sumner's Mills have stumbled across the Octagon House hidden deep in the woods. Even fewer are brave enough to trespass. A man once killed his wife and 2 young daughters there. A shocking, gruesome crime the sleepy upstate New York town tried to bury. One summer night, an emboldened 14-year-old Claire and her best friend Abby ventured into the Octagon House. Claire came out, but a piece of Abby never did. 20 years later, Claire receives word that Abby has attempted suicide at the Octagon House and now lies in a coma. With little to lose and still grieving after a personal tragedy, Claire returns to her roots to uncover the darkness responsible for Abby's accident. An eerie page-turner beneath the stairs is about the trauma that follows us from childhood to adulthood and returning to the beginning in order to reach the end. It sounds so good. Like I said, comes out on my birthday, which is 2/22. I'm freaking excited to read this. And it's beautiful. I really need to get my life together. Behold the Sins is still up on my Kindle. I just finished it. I'm not gonna cry. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Ooh, I have an email. Oh, nothing exciting. I'm really excited about that. It sounds so good. I hope it doesn't let me down. You're gonna have to excuse the fact that sometimes I don't know how to talk because my brain is broken. It just doesn't work for me sometimes. Another book that I am wanting to read is called Every Little Secret by Sarah Clark. It is described as a fast-paced, twisty story full of flawed characters who all seem to have secrets. It's impossible to know who to trust. A thrilling read. Yes, that's my kind of book. It says, from the outside, it seems Grace has it all. Only she knows about the cracks in her picture-perfect life and the huge secret behind them. After all, who can she trust? Her brother Josh is thousands of miles away, and he and Grace have never been close. He was always their parents' favorite. Her best friend Coco walked away from her years ago, their friendship irreparably fractured by the choices they've made, and her husband Marcus seems like a different man lately. Grace can't shake the feeling that he's hiding something. But when her 7-year-old daughter makes a troubling accusation, Grace must choose between protecting her child and protecting her secret before she loses everything. It's described as totally addictive, suspenseful, gripping, and nightmarish. Like, that's my type of book. I am either a hoe for the fantasy novels or the psychological thrillers. There's really no in between. I also have a soft spot for romance novels. But anyway, carrying on. Another book that I received, so the Beneath the Stairs book that I received from Atria. I am part of their ARC Readers program, so I applied for all the books that I could receive from them, and I had received most of the books they had listed for spring 2022. Yeah, and I've gotten a lot. I'm really appreciative of all the ones that I've gotten. I think that I've read most of them. I think there's about 3 that I haven't read, and I've gotten maybe 6 or 7. There's one that I didn't like, but I mean, it's a free book. I'm honored, seriously. This next one's called The Heights. This one is out the 1st of March. So I want to get it read before the 1st of March so that I can publish my review, because I typically like to, if I get an arc, publish the review the day that it comes out. Or before. This one is described, it says, The Heights is a tall, slender apartment building among the warehouses of Tower Bridge. Its roof terrace so discreet you wouldn't know it existed if you weren't standing at the window of the flat directly opposite, but you are. And that's when you see a man up there, a man you'd recognize anywhere. He's older now and his appearance has subtly changed, but it's definitely him. Which makes no sense at all, since you know he's been dead for over 2 years. You know this for a fact because you're the one who killed him. It sounds so good. Oh, I'm so excited to read it. Okay, next up. I am wanting to read a couple of my Queen's books that I haven't read yet. There's several of hers I haven't read yet. I feel like a terrible Faithful fan. But without merit and regretting you, I have not read these yet. I've heard so many good things about them. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. I know I'm fully prepared for Colleen Hoover to break my heart, like she's done so many times before. So these don't need introductions. If you're a fan, you know. If you know, you know. So anyway, I hate myself. This year I decided to do the 12-12 challenge. So basically 12 books that people recommend to you that you have to read in 12 months. So basically 12 books that I have to read in 2022 for the fun of it, that my friends have recommended me. I've already read one of them. It was Me Before You. Crushed me. Second book, my fiance, I had him pick me out a book, and he decided to pick Softwire, the first book, The Virus on Orbis. He loves this series, and I think I read the first book back in like middle school, so it's been a little bit, but he's always really enjoyed these books and the author, so I told him I would read them. There's 4 books in the series, so I'm excited. I'm excited to read it. My fiance is also a book nerd. He has his own bookshelf that is littered with books, so yeah. Next up, Alice Pick a Card, number 2 in the series. It's called A City of Diamonds. Reading it on my Kindle. I got the arc of the first book and I really loved it. It's a really awesome Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the second book. I'm also waiting for the paperback editions to come out so I can add them to my bookshelf, because I got a copy of Alice in Wonderland when I went to New York from the New York Library's shop, and I got it stamped, so it's on my shelf waiting to be accompanied by these retellings. But I'm really excited. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Both books are, if you haven't checked them out yet, so go check them out. They're so good. They're really good Alice in Wonderland retellings. I believe that the second book just came out, I want to say last week before. I've been meaning to read it, but I'm swamped. I am one of the readers that has to balance like 5 million other things at one time while also trying to read. Like, I'm writing my own book. I work 30 hours a week. I play video games. I like to sleep. So I try to balance it all, and sometimes it can be tricky, but I'm recently trying to not beat myself up if I don't read a book by the deadline I've set for myself, or I don't read as many books as I, plan to. I'm trying not to burn myself out on reading because I love it and it's my hobby. So I don't think that there should be any expectations as far as like the book community. Like, if you want to read books, read books. If you want to read 2 a month, read 2 a month. If you want to read 22 a month, read 22 a month. Do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy as far as it goes with books. Like, do what you want and what makes you happy. I really need to stop setting expectations for myself and just doing the best that I can. Alright, I'll get off my soapbox. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm so excited to read this book. One of the book talkers that I follow just finished this book, and she has been talking nonstop about how much she loved it. And I've seen this book all over TikTok before. I've never read a Mariana Zapata book, and I'm really excited. Really excited. This is my first one. It's a thickie, but I've heard it's a goodie. So you guys will have to stay tuned when I do my wrap up at the end of February to know how much I loved it. And these next two books are going to be together. I haven't read this yet. I'm scared. I'm gonna read Crescent City. I'm probably going to start it next week so that by the time the second book comes out, which is one of my birthday presents, I will be ready to read the second one. So if I pre-order the book, my fiance is going to pre-order the book as one of my birthday presents on the 11th. I'll get it on the 15th, having already read this book, and I can do the second book. I'm just so excited. Like, can you tell I can't even think straight. I have heard so many good things about this book. I can't wait to finally read it, and then I can't wait to read the second one after that. But she is a thick-ass book. But yeah, so I have some really, really good reads this month. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I hope I can read them all. I hope they're all beautiful. I hope I love them all. Yeah. So I should be also posting my January wrap-up soon, so stay tuned for that. And then at the end of February, tune in for my March TBR and my February wrap-up. Bye, my dudes.